Hey guys, this is Chris from Barely Sober News and Reviews. If you guys are new to this channel, we're going to start doing some weekly episode reviews of Star Wars Rebels Season 3. I just got a chance to see the premiere episode called Steps into Shadow, and just want to warn anyone that these are going to be spoiler-filled reviews, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, you could pause this and find it. If you have Optimum, you can watch it on Disney XD Demand, or I'm sure you can find it in other places as well. So, straight into Season 3, there's obviously been some sort of a time jump, not sure how long, but Ezra has a new look. He's got his haircut, he's clearly a little bit older, a little bit taller, and definitely a lot more powerful with the Force. This episode starts off with them running some mission, and Ezra is pretty much in charge now. I mean, he's running the show, he's calling the shots, and he's also like showing a lot more of some dark side potential within himself. He's going around, he has no problem slicing and dicing up these stormtroopers. He really is like killing them in cold blood with no remorse, and there's even a point where they seem like they are about to pretty much be screwed, and he uses the Force in a way which I don't know if we've ever seen too much before. I've watched all of Clone Wars, and I've watched episodes here and there of Rebels so far. I'm going to get more into it this season and hopefully see every episode and be able to make a review on every episode, but for now, I'm not too sure. I haven't seen this before, but Ezra basically takes control of this guy in a walker's body and uses a Jedi mind trick to make him actually fire upon his own people and then walk off the cliff in a suicidal move. It's pretty dark. I mean, this is a Disney show, and they do it in such a way that it's like, oh, it's a cartoon. But if you kind of really think of this, or if you pictured this as live action or saw this in a movie, that's some pretty deep shit there that Ezra's gotten into. Shortly after the mission, you kind of find out where he's getting some of this from, which if you've seen Season 2 finale, you kind of know he already had some pointers and some training from Darth Maul, or formerly Darth Maul, and he now has the Sith holocron, and as you see, he's opened it, he's using it, and it's actually talking to him and giving him some advice. So that, I mean, I don't know. The holocrons, to me, I'm not even sure, like, I don't really get them too much on just like a level of the lore. I'm not like too familiar. Like, what exactly are they? Are they just like these databases of knowledge? There's Jedi holocrons and there's Sith holocrons, and I don't know. Like, does it make you evil just because you have a Sith holocron and you're listening to it, or is it just help you along that path? I'm not really too sure. I'm sure a lot of you out there know a lot more than me. Feel free to leave some of that in the comments below. I'd love to hear. So anyway, moving on, we get to the Bendu. The Bendu I thought was awesome. The Bendu is my favorite part of this episode. I know that name comes from like some of the original drafts of George Lucas's original Star Wars, where the Jedi were called the Jedi Bendu, and that was the name of their order. But they've taken it and repurposed it here, and the Bendu is basically this creature who rides the line between dark and light. And we catch up the story with Kanan, and he's hearing these voices from the Bendu calling out to him. And Kanan, definitely blind now. He's got a pretty badass looking mask on, and he's grown out his beard and everything. And so I thought it was cool. I liked seeing Kanan looking more like a Jedi master and less like, I don't know. He kind of always looked a little bit like a douchey guy from the 90s. Has nothing to do with Freddie Prinze Jr. doing the voice at all. I mean, not calling him a douche or anything. I love the guy. I think he's doing a great job with Kanan, and who would have thought that this, teenage heartthrob from back then would be, now a Star Wars Jedi Master. But I think what they're doing with Kanan is really interesting. I really dig it, and I really am excited to see what happens to these characters. I mean, keep in mind, once Episode 4 comes around, Star Wars A New Hope, Kanan and Ezra can't really be there. And that's, like, to me, the most interesting part to Rebels as a whole. Where are these characters going? What's going to happen to them? What sort of tragedy Or do they just go into hiding? Are they there in the background? Are we going to get more new canon stories about Kanan and Ezra going forth? To be honest, I don't really think so. And that'll just, I'll just kind of wrap this up now and talk about episode 2 coming out, and it looks like Maul's coming back. And that's another character that, his fate is up in the air. So we'll finally get to see what happens to these prequel era characters, and where do they go, like during the original trilogy. So I mean, we've already like been bringing back in the clones, Captain Rex. We have Ahsoka, we have Maul, we have Kanan and Ezra, we have all these people that are kind of just like remnants from this pre-New Hope era, and we're gonna just see what gets to happen to all of them. And so the other big thing about this episode was the introduction of Thrawn. So far, I love him. I never read those classic, now considered legends novels about Thrawn, but I've done my fair share of research. I kind of know like the character that he's supposed to be, and from what I can tell, I mean, they're doing a really great job of it. I love the voice acting on him. I thought it was perfect, and he seems like a very evil, sophisticated, different type of villain than we're used to getting in Star Wars, and I'm just really excited to see more of him. And of course, it's just great to see him next to Tarkin, and to just now know, wow, this is all canon. So the same Tarkin that we see in the original Star Wars, he's had conversations with Grand Admiral Thrawn, and that's like a canon thing now. I don't know, it's just cool, and I'm sure it's really cool for a lot of people that have known this character even longer than I. Maybe I'm sure a lot of people that are still upset that all of Legends got wiped out, but at least Disney is doing everything in their power to still pull things from that lore and give it to us in new and interesting ways, and ways that are now officially canon with a lot of oversight. I mean, we have the whole team at Lucasfilm run by Pablo Hidalgo that's making sure that these stories all make sense. So whether you're looking at the comics or the movies or the TV shows like Clone Wars and Rebels, everything's tying into each other, and it's on a level that has never happened before. It's on a level that Legends, the old Legends novels and canon, was never able to do, because that expanded universe was, the oversight was not that tight. There was a lot of plot holes, a lot of crazy things just running rampant and out of control. Right now we have one story team that is making sure that this all meshes together. Anyway, this is going on way too long. Episode 2 is on tonight, so I will do another review and get that up ASAP. Hopefully I can get my boy George in on this so that we can be going forward. Star Wars Rebels Season 3. Aren't you guys excited? I am. I can't wait to see Maul next week. So this has been Chris from Barely Sober News and Reviews. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'll link those below. And also on Instagram at Barely Sober News. We do a lot of Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, all sorts of Marvel, DC, comic book news. Any of your movie news that you might be looking for, we're doing it, and we're giving it to you in a barely sober way. So come find us and like and subscribe, and please comment below. Let us know what you thought.